Heavy Outfitters. I wanted to show you how to manny and cafe today. So our manny rope, manny tarp, our bale of hay. First thing, we have a way to fold the tarp so it makes it easy when you unfold them. They just fold right open and you see it flip. But you basically lay our tarp out kind of square in the center. What we really want to have it nice and beautiful. This bale of hay kind of seems wonky here. And there's going off square there. You're really best to hold everything uphill. And one thing you look for, we've got this little tear here. Rather than exposing our hay, when the mule's behind the steering wheel, you can get in trouble. I'm actually going to hold it on the downhill. It's tight there. So you basically keep your corner on the bottom of your load. And you're just going to flip it over. And then you just push it forward, and that's going to snug it up nice. What works nice with this hold here is you can kind of cuff this a little bit down next to your leg. That's just going to keep it nice and tight here. And we're going to take, I like to start on the right side. I'll fold this fold over nice and tight. I'll pull that snug. And you can see how that squared up the corners kind of nice. I use my knee a lot to help hold everything. Now rather than having your big flap hanging out here, let's just take it and fold that out to, just off center. Same thing, I'm using my knee to hold my load. Now I'm going to come to the top of my pack, hold all these loads in. Again, nice and snug. And pull that over the top. Now you see my care is exposing hay. Okay, I'm going to keep that tight. And my manny rope, which I like to use a rope that's nice and but the way we tied it, we're going to take out our loop that we started with, and then the rest of my manny rope, I'm just going to toss kind of back into that down behind me. It's going to fly out all nice. Okay, now our loop we started with here, basic, you can braid this like I've done, or tie a knot off or whatever. But this section is going to where it's going to tighten. So you want to have that coming. So when it's laying, you're on the top of your pack, your load, and you're tightening it this way. You don't want to have it this way. It's kind of defeating your purpose of tightening everything. So I'm going to keep my rope kind of out of my way. I'm going to make my loop big enough for my load. Rather than lifting this hay, I'm just going to use my knee to roll it to the side. I'll hold this where I want to start this first loop here, and I'll just chase this around center. I'm going to load and I can lay it right back down, and then I can just I can see I'm off center, so I'm going to roll it back over and center everything up nice. Keeping everything right nice is important for when you're on the trail and keeping your loads nice. So now what we're going to do, just snug this. You can see how it pulls this flat towards us. Okay, now you can see how I've snugged that down tight. Pulled my load, my flap, and everything nice and snug. And then the way I've tossed out my rope, I'm going to start out by doing what we call a figure 4. Taking my line, and I'm just going to do, basically it's a half hitch, but you can see the figure 4 there. And that's how we're going to start our first one. I'm going to put it at the top of my load, maybe just a little bit below this. If you put it above it, it loosens your rope. So you want to keep snug and everything, so keep working down. So I'm going to do my figure 4. My tag end is tight. I'm going to chase it around. I'm just going to set it where I want to lay it on my pack, give myself a nice loop, and then I can just kind of give it the lift, chase it right around, drop it. And now right here you can see when I snug this, how it makes everything just go nice and snug. Now that first one I've done on the top. You're going to see later on how that's going to help you out. The next one, your second one is really important. This is your guide for when you're packing it. So you're going to do another figure 4, but this time we're going to come off, now we're going to work back on the load. I'm still doing the figure 4, I'm still chasing my tight end. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this load and I'm going to cut it into thirds. You can see 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. So when I pack it on my animal, I'm going to have 1/3 high and 2/3 low. You'll see when I do my load. So I do my figure 4, created the big loop here. I can chase it around my pack, set it to where I want it to be, lift my load, chase it around. It'll be about as long as your arms are. Chase it around, snug it tight. Watch how it just snugs everything tight together. You're going to do another figure 4. See it? I'm going to chase it, set it where you want your next one, square it up, chase it around, snug everything tight. See how we're getting a nice tight load there? Now with your tagging, you're going to tie off. Depending on how long your ropes are, 30 feet is a nice length. I'm going to bring it around the back of my pack. I could probably come around with this one to my front. This rope's nice and long. When I tie my sling and my basket stitch, I'm going to tie off and do all that right here. So rather than put my knot there, keep our knot out of the way and do it up here. Same thing, I'm doing the Tammy Y, I call it. I go underneath both of my ropes there, and I'm going to pull that through all the way, snug everything tight, and I'm going to come through. If you don't want to get in there sometimes tight, you can just tie off right on your tag end, through, tight. I use that a knot a lot to tie off. It's nice for when you're pulling out. You want to snug that where it doesn't come undone. If your rope's long enough, you can throw a half hitch in it. If not, you can just take that tag in, and that's going to keep it from coming undone. That way, when you're undoing your loads, you just pull. So, that's how you're manning up the hay. Let's go ahead and put them on the mule. Okay, I got a couple bales we've manied up. I'm going to go ahead and just put them on the end right here. A couple of things you want to do first. Snug the bottom. A little bit loose. Snug her up. Check the saddle. Tighten that up. Doing a little quick release here for the mules in case you want to pack. So what we're going to do to put this load on, we're just doing basically basket hitch, what I said. Have my half hitch and my sling rope. There's also a new hand rope. And the loop you created, it's going to look, it's going to always pull to the front. You've done it for him all the time. And then you're just going to pull and make yourself a nice little feeder basket. So what's going to happen, your load's going to fit in here like so. Tag end's going to come around and you're going to tie off. So that's how it's going to kind of hold the hay on. So go ahead and set these both up. Make this long enough where when you lift your load you can reach under, grab it, grab on the rope. So I'll get the other side set up. So on your manis, the way you've tied them up, you can always tell what is the front and the bottom by how you've done it. So that first load is going to be the bottom of your load. Your flap is going to be the top, and when it flaps over, it's going to be the front. So I'll just set this load over and have it ready on this side. So I'll go ahead and grab this. And then I just got to look at the load. I can find where my flap is right here. I can see my bottom. Even though if somebody else did this one, you can just look at it and know how it goes on the animal. What I like to do when lifting it, I'll grab it by the bottom, lift it up, and then I'm just going to set it onto my shoulder. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to set my second figure 4 that I created right on the top of my ring on my decker. And then when I bring my sling rope over, I can lay it right on there. This is a guide that we created. So I'll just bring it on over. You can see you don't have to hardly slide it at all. that up on top. Hold the rope. Swing rope down. Now I've tightened that. When you tighten this load, what I like to do is you rock it back and back forward. You can see how it snugs it up. Now I'm going to take my swing rope. I'm just going to tie this off temporary. Similar knot. Go over the top. Now I'm going to come to the side of here. You can see how that knot lays, and then I can tie off. See, I've created that tie off. And you want to do it, pull and then done. You're going over the top to the side. Tie off. And if you just need that load, go ahead and get your other load up. Same thing. Grab down here, you can see on my hand. Well, I grab that swing rope. I'm going to give it a tug. Now I'm going to rock this one really hard back and forth. You see I snugged it up. Now you might have to straighten out your saddle to this tug. Everything's straight. Take a look at your load. Don't be deceived by the top. You made your guide. Snug that up. Now you're going to bring your swing over. Now you're tying off. Yeah, I've done that. Now by pulling this loop through, we're going to do what we call a crow's foot. And that's going to keep your load from swinging forward, flopping off to the side. We're going to snug this all down. So I'll create my loops where it's a nice good size. I'll come around my pack with my loop. I'm going to come down here to the bottom of my cinch. Using a packing cinch. You can see this ring here on a packing cinch. I call it a Wyoming ring. I'm just going to take that loop, poke it through. Then I'm going to take my tag end. I'm going to put it right through that loop I've created. I'm going to center this tag end. And now, if I want to make this loop smaller, I can just reach up on the top of my tag end and tighten it up. See, I've created it smaller so it doesn't get up in here on the top. It keeps your everything here. Okay, now I'm going to come up the top with my tag. I can snug this up. You can see the crow's foot, how it holds that pack. Now I'm going to take my remainder of my swing rope. I like to tie off right on that first hitch you did. That's your tightest place. You tie it off on this, everything's getting pulling down, so, and you've created a little room in there to get your fingers in there. Same knot, you're going over the top, poke that in, go to the side, this side, and then tie off again. Now you want to secure that knot, you can throw a half hitch and come through with your tag end. You see, well, that's how you tie a load on. Let's hit the trail. Okay, so when you're taking your loads off, take your crow's foot, go ahead and push it off. Pull off your front foot. And what you do is just shorten that up so you can pop that and then come around the other side. Get it started. Same thing. Start out with your crow's foot. They tie it off. Take your crow's foot. Off. Then you pop that. The load will stay. When you take your load off, just turn it to the side. It's going to drop and then you go to the other side. So pull it this way. Your swing rope will drop off. Grab the bail. And you're going to come around to this other side here. And all you got to do is pull, pops off, same thing. Grab it. Pull your swing over the top. Drop your hay. That's how you pack hay. when you're undoing your manny rope, same thing. I use this on cami wire. You only have to pull that through. This is the back of the load. Just flip it over, and then your figure 4 you created. You scab it, give it a tug, and you just kind of roll your bail. You don't have to work very hard to take it out. Your figure 4 you created, roll your bail. Now your first one you created, you did off the top, so the figure 4 is this way, roll your bail, and then you're free. And when you're just holding up your mannies and whatnot, pull the bail out, of course. And then your mannies, when you pull them up to storage, kind of a consistent way I like to pull them. Cut them all out. That's the two top corners. Bring them together on the top. Cut them in half. And then you can just give it a flip. And then the mannies are nice. You can pull it right out really nice. And then you can do another half flip. And then you see the top. You can just give it a straighten right out there. And then you do the squat. Half again. You want to cut it in half again. And that's how you fold up the manny part. Your manny rope. You just take it at your tag end, not the loop end. Just drop it halfway down and then just use this. And as I'm doing this, I'm actually taking my kneeling rope that I can use all the way coming down to my loop. I'm actually going to keep this loop kind of big with I'm going to throw in my load. So what I'll do, I'll bring it around. I'll put it on, so the beginning of the loop is on this side of my hand. And now I have the end of the loop. I'll wrap it just a couple times to pick up my slack. I'm coming through the top. And that's how your manny rope should look. So when you take them apart, it's real easy to pull this out, take them off. Now your loop's here to start, and then your manny rope, you see when you throw it, it just takes one line for you sometimes. Let me do that over. Okay, when you just go ahead when you're swinging your swing rope back up, pull your basket hitch back up, make a nice big loop here. You're going to go through the back of your decker, keep the loops nice and even, go back through the same side. And then if your tag end is real short, you can just pull it on through, and then you're just going to do a couple of half foot loops on the swings here, and then that's going to ride nice.